Well, Danny, the feeling is mutual. If you know, you know, or if you don't, go and check out Intersound Guitars. Great guitar shop over in Dursley. I got a lot of time for Danny and the guys over there. As you can see, my face featuring in one of their videos. I will put the link for that video in the description. They have recently started a YouTube channel, so they've got some great content on there already, particularly that video which focuses on Japanese guitars, which is always something that I like to look at. So yeah, do check them out. Anyway, we are back. We are back in the racks, in my natural habitat. A bit emptier than usual because of course we have just had an auction. So you don't quite get the glamour of the sale room up here, but I guess this is where the magic happens. This is where all the work happens before the main event. And yeah, this is where you'll find me most of the time, running around like a headless chicken, trying to get these auctions ready with my colleague Chris behind the camera. But just a huge thank you to everyone who did participate in the June 2025 auction. It was a great success. I think the sale percentage was over 90% sold, which is fantastic for any auctioneer really, and some great prices. There wasn't really many things that didn't sell, particularly in the guitar category. So yeah, delighted with that. So just a huge thank you to anyone who bid on the sale, any winning bidders, any underbidders, of course our vendors, you guys out there viewing these videos, and I guess helping to grow this community. We're sort of really thankful for that. And of course, if you did buy anything or if you did bid on anything, let us know in the comments. Let you know what you liked. If you didn't buy anything when you were just viewing, but what did you win? What did you underbid on and wish you won? What did you wish you went one more on? But always interested to know. And of course, do subscribe to our channel if you like this content. So yeah, if you haven't seen us these videos before, like I said, we are in the rack area where all the work happens. So it's not the glamorous viewing room that I think most of you will agree does look pretty impressive when the auction's going on. But we are working towards our next sale in September, so 9th to the 12th of September. Currently going to be a 4-day auction, but who knows what might come in. It might get too big and have to be another 5-day auction. Or 6. Let's go for 6, maybe not. But we do have a lot of things already in, as we usually do at this stage. I think we're already over 200 guitars. We got a great collection from a luthier's workshop, unfortunately deceased estate, like a lot of these things that come to us come from. But sort of very skilled luthier passed away, so we've got all of his tools, all of his big machinery, so that'll be coming up. A lot of wood blanks and things like that. So if you are into your guitar lutherie or getting into it, then this will be a great opportunity to stock up on that kind of thing. Things like amps we will have, as usual. There's a nice 1968 super bass Marshall JMP there. I think it comes with its original purchase receipt and guarantee as well. High Watt Custom 100. These will be in the auction. The Laney as well, the little Laney LS16, I think, without looking at it too closely. That has literally just come in. So yeah, amps will feature as always, but I think what you guys are here to see is the guitars. So 9th of September will be Guitar Day. And today I think we're going to look at around 30 guitars that are coming up in that sale. So let's take a look. Starting from the top, I think this will be the first lot in the sale. Lot number 1, catalogued and ready. Not quite up on the preview website guitarauctions.com, where things will appear as and when they're photographed and ready to go up, so do keep an eye on that. This is an Ovation Custom Elite CE778, and it is in good condition, needs a bit of a tidy up. There are some dings, but a lot of these marks are actually just marks that will polish out. But we've got this red burst top on the typical lyrical bowl back, electroacoustic, really nice comfortable neck, and comes with its original case. So not everyone gets on with the whole bowl back thing. But if you do, these are fantastic guitars. Not quite sure what's going on with this Burns guitar, but it is essentially it's a 60s Burns. It has been heavily modified. As you can see, it's got like the Bison body, white finish with the typical cracking. It's lost its back plate, it's lost its neck plate, and it has a Marvin neck on it. So it's not a Bison neck, but a Marvin type neck. Someone's put a jazz guitar Perspex badge on it as well. The guard, wooden guard that's a replacement. You should expect to see all the various plastic guards you have. It's got the old Hank Marvin trem. It's got Burns Resomatic pickups. So it is essentially a Burns parts guitar. So not really sure. I mean, it is from an estate sale, so not really sure too much the ins and outs of this. But yeah, if you're into your Burns guitars, and a lot of people like them for the pickups, then this could be a good option to keep as it is, or possibly even a breaker to source your much needed parts. So there we go, some form of Bison parts caster. If you're paying attention in the last auction, you will have noticed we had a rather nice 66 Gretsch Country Gentleman. Well, if you missed out and you want another chance, here is a 67. So different guitar, this being a 67, but condition wise very, very similar. You'll see typical gold plating loss, which is very acceptable on guitars of this age, but there we go. Minimal binding rot as you can get on some of these things. You can see there's a bit going around the sides here and on the neck there, but otherwise I think we're in pretty good condition considering. I'm sure you're all rushing to the comments to correct me on the last guitar, as I'm sure loads of you will have noticed the replacement bridge, which I didn't mention, as I noticed as I was closing the case lid. But that last one does have a replacement bridge. We have another late 60s Gretsch Country Gentleman. So if you cannot quite stretch your budget to that quite nice example we just saw, then here is one from a year later. This is a 68 Country Gentleman, and as you can see, the finish has been stripped away. Other than that, it's not in bad nick really, considering. The neck feels quite nice because it has been stripped back. But there we go. Have a look. Bit of plastic chipped away. The bridge there as well. All the gold plating coming off here on the Gretsch Bigsby. But there is a, I guess, player's grade opportunity there. And here we have a slightly earlier Ovation from the 1970s. This is an Ovation Pacemaker 7-string, 7-string? 12-string. What am I talking about?
Thinking of gentleman, that's one.
Yeah, country gentleman. There we go, 12-string Ovation Pacemaker, and the condition is okay, I guess. There is some cracking on the finish, which is fairly typical for this model, but it is a serviceable guitar, good to go with its case. So this is a pretty cool Hofner, so solid body, Galaxie, but it is a baritone, which is, what was it, 27-inch scale, slightly longer.
27 to like 30?
Something like that. Anyway, baritone scale, so a bass 6, I guess, if you will, to some people, but it's all working as well, which is a lot of the Hofners we have in with all these fun electronics tend to come in and don't quite work properly. But refinished body and neck, but electric's all working. But a nice fun guitar that won't break the bank. Estimate £200 to £400. It's not bad for a baritone, is it? A bit of fun. A Fender Strat that screams the 80s. So this is from 85, 86. This is a contemporary series Strat made in Japan. It's got the System 1 type bridge I think we're missing the trem arm on this one, unfortunately, but I'm sure they are obtainable. So you've got 1 volume, 1 tone, HSS spec, with the, it's 5-way switch, isn't it? Yeah. Rosewood board, missing its locking nut there. But other than that, it's all there in its original pewter metallic finish. This will upset the purists, but Chris has just said this is what should be done to every Hofner guitar.
Straight under that bus.
Quote, straight under the bus. So this is, of course, a Hofner. It is a President, isn't it? Of course it is. President Thinline. And you'll see the pickups have been replaced. And we have 2 Damarzios. Damarzio humbuckers. We've got some more Gibson type knobs. We've got the added switch here and the master volume. So lots of changes going on. But it plays pretty nicely, and some nice high output from this. These have been screwed to the top rather than the body actually being routed to house the pickups. So I guess if you did want to revert it back, it hasn't been as intrusive as it could have been. But there we go, a Hofner President Thinline in the brunette finish with some mods. So in the words of Dave Grohl, this is a call to all of my Hofner aficionados, because I have here a Hofner 501 violin bass, and according to the tag, 500/1 vintage 63, which makes sense. You'll see there FL, which I'm assuming stands for fretless, which it is, but I cannot find another one anywhere. So I'm just wondering whether there's anyone out there who has seen one or has had one of these before, because they must be pretty rare. Yeah, fretless 501 bass, I believe from the 90s, made in Germany, fantastically made, really nice instrument. Comes with the typical case that you see with these 90s Hofners, and yeah, cool thing. And in here we have a Gretsch Electromatic from 2017, Korean made, and this is the G5420TG in this red sparkle finish. Really smart looking guitar. Estimate, I don't know why that says Gretsch Dwayne Eddy on the label, because it isn't. But yeah, smart looking guitar. Estimate wise, £300 to £400. Not bad with the case. I'd imagine not many have seen one of these before. Made entirely out of Lyrecord, which was an Ovation thing. Obviously, apart from the metal hardware, this is a early 1970s Ovation Eclipse. It's a semi-hollow body guitar, all made of Lyrecord, as I've just suggested. And there we go. Something a bit different. This is lot number 3 in the sale. On the cheaper side, entry-level Gibson acoustic, but vintage nonetheless. From around 1968, so late 1960s, B-15 model. So it is all mahogany, I believe. Yep, and yeah, it was a student grade instrument back in the day. Little small body B-15. And I guess they're a good introduction into the vintage market if you wish to delve into it yourselves. So price-wise, hammer price £700 to £900 usually. So it is a good introduction at just shy of £1,000. So here we have a 1974 Martin 00028 with issues. The strings are slack because I've not long had my hand up inside it, checking for the damage. There is a repair on this side here, as you can see. There's some clear lacquer blown over there as well. You can see from the difference in checking. It's also had a pretty nasty head repair as well. or a pretty nasty break that has now been repaired and finished over, but it is very visible. But that being said, it's all solid, it's all good to go. It's a good player, it's not much bellying on the bridge, so I think it could be a very good option for someone who wants a first half of the 70s Martin 00028 but doesn't want to completely break the bank. 2021 Gretsch G5422G-12. I didn't pick that model number off the top of my head. I am reading the label because we can't all have these numbers off the top of our head. But it is a Gretsch 12 string, Chinese made, I believe. Yes, it is, from 2021. Fantastic condition with original case. Right, here we go. We've got a 2022 Tele 914CE electroacoustic in fine condition. We had a 912 in the last auction and it was a phenomenal guitar, and this is not far off. Really lovely guitar, nice clean condition with original case. And in here we have another very nice acoustic. This is from 2008. It's a Martin and it's a J40. This really is nice. So we have mahogany neck, we've got a ebony board with the hex abalone inlays, rosewood back and sides, and then the sunburst finished spruce top. Comes with its original case. There's a few very minor dings, but otherwise it's in lovely condition. So in this case we have Gibson Custom, as you see, custom shop. This is an L-4 CES from the year, what do we got? 2006. So on the L4, very similar to the 175. Difference is the tailpiece and the back and sides material and the fretboard wood. So back and sides on this one, mahogany, as you can see. Sunburst top. We've got the, I think this has got the James Hutchins master model inspection label. The label on this side has actually fallen out, but we do have all the certificates of authenticity. I don't know whether the label's gone, but we do have the paperwork, Gibson custom paperwork, but it's in lovely condition. So if you missed out on any of the nice Gibson jazz boxes in the last sale, we had quite a few. We have more coming up. And just so we can compare the two, I will show you a 175 that we also have coming up from the same vendor. So this is a Gibson Memphis from 2015, and as you will see, we've got the maple body, so back, sides and front, nice figuring there, lovely example. Mahogany neck, but of course we do have the rosewood board, and you'll see the difference in the tailpieces. So you've got the more open tailpiece there, comes with its case and its paperwork. So in here, another hollow body guitar, this time Guild, and this is an X500 model. There we go, made in the Corona factory. So I guess that's under Fender's ownership. Quite interesting. If we have a look at the serial number, it's 00000. What that means, I'm not quite sure. Was it the first from the Corona factory? Who knows? Natural finish, maple back and sides, natural spruce top, ebony board with all the trimmings. Again, another lovely example with its original case. And in here we have a Tricone. This is a Regal branded Tricone. Chinese made these ones, but don't let that put you off. If you are after a Tricone and you want one that's going to come in at the 400 to 600 hammer price range, rather than paying 4 figures for a National or similar, then this could present a very good option for you. Hello CJ. And here is a Telecaster model that not everyone will be familiar with. This is the Boxer Series Tele, HSS spec, coil splitting, volume tone, got the typical 3-way switch there, and in this Torino red finish, made in Japan as you can see, and it's in fantastic condition with its Fender gig bag. So in the last video, my director, cameraman, master of jokes extraordinaire, Chris, has told me that I said HSS spec on that last guitar. I'm taking his word for it. It's not his HH spec. Humbucker. So again, before you start jumping on the comments, or do jump on the comments because it's great for the videos. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. And subscribe to our channel. Thank you. In here we have, first for us, an Elitist series Epiphone. So for those of you who don't know, in the 2000s, they didn't make them for that long. They did an Elitist series of various models, and this is a Broadway. They were made in Japan, and they are very, very high quality guitars indeed. Fitted with Gibson pickups, Gibson USA pickups, but really nice timbers. And these, hammer price wise, they come in, well, actually, I can't really comment because we've never had one, but my estimate is £800 to £1,000, possibly a little bit more. But I think you're going to get a lot of guitar for the money there. Comes with this lovely plush lined case. So there we go, Epiphone Elitist Broadway. And if your budget isn't going to quite reach the Elitist model, you can have the more standard Korean-made model. This one from 1997. This again is a Broadway model and comes in the sunburst finish, if that is your preference over natural. But there we go, comes with an Epiphone case as well. And in here we have another very nice acoustic guitar. This being a 1979 Martin D41. This has had some restoration. Probably can't make it out by the camera, but there is a bridge doctor in there, which if you look down through the hole,
my eyes, but not with the camera.
Yeah, there is a bridge doctor there, so the table has obviously gone at some point, but it's been restored really well, apart from this little notch in there, and looking inside, you can't really tell. You kind of look at it and think this is just a superb condition D41, but obviously a very high-end Martin guitar, rows of back and side, spruce top that has been repaired, mahogany neck. It's had some electronics added as well. Nice Martin Dreadnought. And in here we have another Corona-made Guild, this time an F12. It's a 12-string sunburst finish, and it's in fantastic condition. We had an F12 in the last sale, I think, didn't we? So if you missed out on that one, here's another opportunity. Good condition, original case. This guitar is really nice. So this is a 1934 Martin 017. You'll probably notice straight away it's had a replacement bridge. So this is what looks like much later Indian rosewood bridge. It should have a Brazilian rosewood bridge, as the fretboard is. So it has had some work over the years, but it's a phenomenal sounding guitar. It's really nice to play. I was cataloguing it yesterday and I couldn't put it down, in fact. I think in the last auction, for those of you who actually came and viewed, there was a 1946 Gibson LG2 that everyone in the viewing room was after. We had a pre-sale guide of 2,000 to 3,000 on it, and it just completely smashed that, and I think sold for 4,200 hammer or something. Sold really well because it was such a great instrument, really good sounding guitar. And like I said, it was the viewing room favourite, and I think this will be the guitar, or the equivalent in the viewing room this time. It just sounds absolutely massive for such a small guitar. Really lovely to play, nice V-profile neck. And apart from the bridge restoration that was needed, it's in fantastic condition. Don't let this modern case deceive. In here we have another vintage acoustic guitar. So we have a J-45 and this is from around 1946, and we're saying that because of the logo type. It's the transition before it went to the block logo in 47. So we've got, as you can see, refinished body. So we have had some, looks like some bridge repairs have gone on as well. You'll see here that the neck has been reset. You can see where it's been taken down, and that it appears that there is a new block that's been put in there as well, which is where you normally see a factory order number. So it's why we're guesstimating the date. Mahogany back and sides. There is a repaired split here on the back. There's also a repaired split that you can't actually really see that well through here, but you can see it from the inside. But the price is going to reflect it. So pre-sale guide of £2,000 to £3,000, which is pretty good for a 46 J45. I think you'll all agree. Player's grade category, obviously, but still sounds like an old Gibson. And in here we have an artist-owned Telecaster, just to close out the video. So this is a Squier Protone series Telecaster electric guitar from 1998. So Korean made. This is a fat Telecaster, so it's got the humbucker pickup in the neck position. And who was the previous owner? Well, it was Mr. Peter Green, the legend. So if anyone was interested in Bonham's auction of Peter Green's collection a few years ago and you missed out, here's a great opportunity to acquire one of Peter's guitars. This is one of the instruments that went through that sale, was purchased by the vendor, and he's now moving it on himself. Peter obviously had great taste in guitars, and the Protone series Squiers are fantastic instruments. So Peter obviously had a very good eye. So if it's good enough for Peter Green, I'm sure it's good enough for you guys. But just to prove it, there it is in the Bonham's catalogue, lot 128. There it is illustrated with the matching serial number. There was a guide of £400 to £500. I think the hammer price ended up being between £800 and £900. But essentially it is here to sell. And that was the Bonham's catalogue. Man of the World, the Peter Green collection. Some fantastic guitars in there. I believe we did actually sell quite recently one of the other guitars that featured in that auction, which was that yellow G&L there. So that also went through our auction a couple of years ago when we had some Gary Moore guitars in. But there we go. Fantastic provenance on that guitar, direct provenance, faultless provenance. Comes with the fitted case, and that will also be coming up on the 9th of September. So there we go, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this consignment update episode today. Normal service resumed after the very busy auction in June, which once again we thank you for. We'll have lots more consignment updates coming up as we go towards the sale. This is obviously episode 1 for September, but I'd imagine we'd have around 10 episodes coming up with all the guitars we got offered. But what we've shown you today is just the tip of a very big iceberg of gear that is coming in. As and when we process things, we will show you more, so do head back to see us next week when we'll have more of the same. But as always, please remember to subscribe to our channel. If you like this content, hit the bell icon and hit the like button, and keep checking back on the website guitarauctions.com, and check our other socials, Instagram @guitarauctions and Facebook /guitarauctions. And you'll be the first in the know for everything that we've got coming up. And you can also sign up to our mailing list via our website, which probably is the best way to stay up to date, because we also notify you when the YouTube videos are up, as well as various catalogue updates as well. So once again, thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next time.